but I'm not going to talk about kangaroos.
It's going to be, I reckon they could jump 12 meters.
Okay, well that's pretty high, isn't it? But for Kanga,
yeah,
they haven't actually played Horizon Lunar Colony yet in Contenders.
Ever?
Not in Contenders.
Okay.
Ever, I'm sure they've actually played it in the past.
You reckon?
But on Contenders, no. Tainted Minds have played it once.
Yep.
I don't need to tell you the result, I don't think. But for Kanga, this is going to be their first time on the map here, and it looks like they're going to go for quad tank, which I like. I'm actually a fan of quad tank.
Yeah.
It's so powerful in these close sort of engagements around that first point. Again, it can kind of come unstuck on the second, but once you kind of get a bit enough momentum, if you cap out that first point straight off the bat, like you come into that second point with some ultis available.
Yeah, well that's it. It's
your Zaya fully charged.
Yeah. It's okay, but so yeah, I was going to say quad tank, but who's our support? So we'll see Merit coming out here. So
we'll keep an eye on the coalescence.
No DPS though, Jordan. We're getting 2 supports. Sometimes we will see just the coalescence coming out there in the end. So we'll see how this plays out now.
Well, Tainted Minds, they need to survive this first fight, and D-Field is going to be on the McCree, which is a little bit interesting. Not the Tracer. We've seen him play Tracer predominantly, but see what he can do here on the McCree. Straight into the point, though, is Kanga. This is looking really bad for Tainted Minds. They're very split. They've lost the Junkrat early on. That's a lot of their damage gone. Kanga Esports, they're in the perfect position to cap out this first point.
The Will Pizza's gone down. Merit trying to stay alive. No coalescence as of yet, but looking a little bit closer now. Roro not on, won't see that much in terms of energy either. I guess 60 is okay, but Kanga actually not managing to get that far here on the point, Jordan.
Oh, but they will. They will indeed, Ben.
All right, here we go.
Get a couple more kills. Eventually, this Orisa is going to drop. And that was a very, very quick cap straight out of Kanga. Roro kind of getting around the side. I think that caught Tainted Minds off guard pretty early on in the piece, but also the fact that obviously we saw that pick going initially onto Slidzor J. He got dropped, he got isolated, and your Junkrat's down against the quad tank. You've got a McCree for your DPS. It's like, well, good luck.
Yeah, and now Merit, as I was saying before, often we have seen just the one Moira as the healer, which sees the coalescence coming out straight away. But now, because there's 2 healers, it's available on the second point instead, Jordan, which puts them in a pretty good spot here as Godsword does manage to take down Merit just at the end. Well, I thought that was going to play out better, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, that's sometimes the problem. You can come unstuck with the quad tank on that second point. If your healers go down, that's really one of the benefits, and particularly if it's your Moira. Like, yeah, okay, if your Lucio goes down, you don't have the speed boost, but if you don't have Moira, it's a pretty easy cleanup there for Tainted Minds, and it was sort of like the tumbling blocks one after another. Everyone sort of went down, and then the Deadeye to follow up from D-Field. That was essentially the straw that broke the camel's back there for Kanga Esports. Now, they're going to stick with this quad tank. They've got some ultimates coming up fairly shortly, and I think that's why. But if this doesn't work, if this next couple of pushes don't work, then it's time to swap off.
All right, they're actually finding a pretty good position here, and there comes the sound barrier onto the point right now. Full Metal pushes through. Roro almost ready as well for the Graviton surge. Slidzor Day trying to come through, but not actually being able to do anything. Too many shields, too much health across the board. Up against that Dragon Blade, and there we go. Second time's the charm here, Jordan.
Well, that's what happens when you don't manage to get the picks against the quad tank composition. Particularly having both of those supports up, you could see how much of a difference that made there.
They allowed them they allowed them all the way around right onto the point. They cut them off from the spawn. They jumped into the point, and then at that stage, right, you have to take the fight to them now. Yeah,
but where are you going to take the fight against the quad tank when they're going on that side of the map? You don't want to take it in that small sort of enclosed space because that's not going to work out. It is, I think, kind of better to fight actually on the point for the lineup that Kanga did have. It's just
it wasn't this time around.
Yeah, well, obviously they weren't able to get those picks that they needed. I mean, we saw the ultimate coming out from Tainted Minds. Sorry, the ultimate, obviously. We saw the Dragon Blade coming out from Tainted Minds. Didn't get really anything with that one. So that's where we needed to see the difference for them. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen. Kanga, once they got into that all-out brawl, it was a little bit too much. And like I said, or like you said, I guess, too many ultimates from Kanga available and just not enough for Tainted Minds to deal with it. But that's a very, very impressive time. 5:31 on the clock for Kanga Esports, and it's not looking particularly happy times for Tainted Minds as they head into their own attacking side. They're going to need something pretty impressive here. Looks like they're going with dive.
Yeah, not great. And the thing is, right, that Kanga didn't even take them on up top. They just walked through. Again, it was like, well, we've got enough HP to get through onto the point, at which point you have to fight us here. We don't care about diving your position upstairs. We don't even need to deal with that. You need to now come and deal with us. And they played that twice in a row, and it worked out for them twice in a row. Dive, on the other hand, well, we like it. It's fun. But hasn't worked so far for Tainted Minds up against Kanga. So we'll see if it plays out differently here on Horizon Luna Colony. But whatever the result, I don't think it's going to be 531, Jordan.
To be fair, we haven't seen a lot of dive actually out from Tainted Minds. They've always sort of had a McCree or a Pharaoh or something a little bit different rather than just your Genji and Tracer as far as DPSs go here for them. But already this is not looking so coordinated actually for Tainted Minds. A lot of their players are split up, a lot of damage early on going onto Tainted Minds, and Kanga trying to take the advantage of that, trying to push forward here and really put some pressure on them. A Bionade goes flying in there from Davey, doesn't really connect. It would have been perfect if it would have. But
Kanga
look at
look
how messy this is. It's all over the place.
Yeah, we're seeing plays picked up across the board on both sides. Slitzor getting the better of Ziggy there, and he picks up another one, finally goes down. Pizza picked up by D-Field. The capture coming through now for Tainted Minds. That was actually a decent push.
Well, it was very, very chaotic, I will tell you that much. I couldn't really tell what was going on and who was actually going to win that fight until it inevitably did end. That's going to be some nice charge, actually, for God's World. Healing up all of that Diva HP. Going to get him up to, I don't know, maybe like 55, 60%. Heading into the second point, though, Tainted Minds need to make this one work. Yes, the first point was capped quite easily, and at times it is quite easy to cap that first point, but really things come unstuck when you're trying to capture point B. And Locust is being quite sneaky. Not sneaky enough, though. Almost picked off there, actually.
Yeah, got to be careful when you trace, and not much HP to work with Elfishguy. Coalescing comes out. Locust ready with the Pulse Bomb. Not going to do all that much, to be perfectly honest. I say that actually was a complete DMX, so maybe the follow-up was better, maybe the Pulse Bomb was enough. But Slitzor doing damage now across the board, and a Dragon Blade still available. Probably not going to be required right now here on attack. Just trying to save this to the last moment, Jordan. But I said it's probably not going to be 531, to be perfectly honest. The potential for that. Oh, my goodness. Roro, way too strong. Dragon Blade onto... well, no Dragon Blade, fortunately for Slitzor, because I thought that was going to be a waste.
That is going to save things for Kanga Esports there, and you have to question, maybe should Slitzor have used his Dragon Blade earlier on in the piece there? I don't really know what he was holding off for. Perhaps sort of the stagger from Tainted Minds is what he wanted to use it on, but at the end of the day, getting the stagger would have been better than not getting the stagger. Maybe he just felt like he didn't really have an opportunity to utilize that Dragon Blade, but now the going is going to be really tough for Tainted Minds. Kanga will post a better time now, 100%, but there's a lot of ultimates available for Tainted Minds, so this is the push that they need to make work. They have to worry about that Transcendence, though, out from Merit. That is the key here for Kanga.
Well, God's World coming out with a Transcendence. We now see... no. That's
a good demon.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good, to be perfectly honest. Jordan Locust throwing out a Pulse Bomb. Don't really think found too much with it. But a fair bit of damage now coming out for Kanga. It doesn't really matter here because they managed to secure the point. Tainted Minds goes down. More times are eaten on the clock. 5 minutes, a ton of time to work with. But when you compare it to that 531.
Yeah, exactly. It's starting to get a little bit more worrisome for Tainted Minds. And I will actually say for the Pulse Bomb there out of Locust, he used it to demech the D.Va. And it was perfect timing, actually, from it, because we saw the Transcendence ending there from God's World, just as the Pulse Bomb did come out from Locust, so he eventually was able to clean things up onto that.
That's what you want to do, right?
Exactly. Perfect stuff, really, from him. And now Kanga looking pretty good, but Slitzor has his Dragon Blade out.
Using it directly where he wanted to use it last time. You see that Coalescence managing to heal him up as well. Full Metal has gone down. Dragon Blade coming out from the other side of things as that picks up God's World. Roro going strong, finds Slitzor. That's pretty strong as well. Kanga looking good still on defense, Jordan.
Yep. There's
well,
the time is ticking up.
Up till that.
They're still looking good. I don't think that Tainted Minds is going to be able to cap this one out. There's just too many players on that cap right now for Kanga. While Tainted Minds are sort of in a way winning this fight, you're going to see that stagger start to come into effect. Roro comes back in, and it's all really going to be said and done as the Primal Rage does stall out again for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, trying to keep them, to keep those ticks there, because you can see this so very close.
Oh no, get on the point!
Oh my goodness!
Is this real life? Kanga, please! How could you let that happen?
What is going on?
D-Field, what a trickster.
Man, you've got the point. No, you've got the point. No, you've got the point.
Yeah.
No, they got the point, bro.
Was it D-Field that was doing that on Ilios as well? I think it was. He's been real cheeky.
Yeah, that was...
Well, that's a little disappointing for Kanga.
I was about to say, look, I'm not so sure about this Primal Rage. I guess if it would have paid off, that would have been cool, but it's not going to.
Kanga was just a little over-eager there to kind of hunt and give themselves as many advantages in the next fight as possible, or buy as much time as possible. In the end, they kind of ended up shooting themselves in their foot.
Yeah.
They get off the point, and they were not prepared for D-Field to just jump on the point.
Yeah, trying to grab the kills, trying to stagger them out a little bit.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
they did is, well... Anyway.
Look, at the end of the day, it's still favourable here for Kanga. They have more time. They should be able to get 2 caps out of this, or get both caps. And Tainted Minds with 3 minutes and 47. Again, it is still doable, but it's kind of still up in the air whether or not they're going to be able to get it in that short amount of time. So
the reality is, if this was a usual game and one team had 3:47 on the clock, you go, yeah, 3:47, that's fantastic, great job, Tainted Minds, you guys should feel awesome, blah, blah, blah. And they should feel awesome. But Kanga feeling just that little bit more awesome. Yeah,
well, let's see what Tainted Minds can do here. If they can cap out both A and B, that really puts a lot of pressure onto Kanga. And, I mean, it is doable with 3 minutes and 40, particularly if they get that quick cap timer that we saw early on in the piece in their last attacking side. It's again going to be dive out from them, straight up onto the high ground. Oh, there's a player low. Merit goes down earlier. It's a good pick for Tainted.
Yeah, great work from Tainted Mind, finding both the support early on. Locust and Ziggy doing damage back, seeing both those tanks now go down. So it's a team without tanks up against a team without supports. I'm not sure who wins in that situation, Jordan.
It's a bit of a toss-up, really, I guess. At this point, it looks like it's going to be Tainted Minds who will come away with the point. I wonder if Kanga decides to try and re-engage on this one. Probably not, given that they're still respawning and they're going to set themselves up for a defense on point B. But 3 minutes on the clock there for Tainted Minds. It's going to be boosted up by 30 seconds, so up to 3.5. Overall, they've done a good job, and now they've got 3.5 minutes to cap out that second point. It's very doable.
Yeah, that really puts the pressure back on Kanga now to try and hold this back here, Jordan.
What I will say, though,
given
the difficulty that they had capping that last one, yes, it was a bit of an error, really, from Kanga Esports there. If you think about Kanga not sort of letting that happen, where do you see Tainted Minds actually capping that point out? I didn't. They didn't win any of those fights, so yeah, they got a couple of ticks, but they were a little bit lucky to actually get that cap timer so quickly on point B. So my sort of thought process is here that Kanga did have quite a difficult defense to break.
Yeah, if things had played out as they should have, as one would expect them to have played out, Tainted Minds probably would have struggled to cap that point. But this time around, they're ready to go. Godswell, though, goes down. Baby Poro goes down. Well, Kanga's like, see ya later.
That was a perfect nade out from Davey. Really, that's how that fight was won for Kanga. They didn't need to invest anything. Koj is going to be staggered here. This is a very, very long stagger as well. Oh, it's still going.
Oh, dear.
That is very, very unfortunate. Well, like, what are you going to do?
What is with these teams losing the first point, though, 3 times in a row on the first push? That's peculiar.
It's just hard to hold. Like, it is a difficult point to hold.
Is it that hard to hold?
Yes.
Clearly.
I mean, think about where you actually want to hold on that point. It's like, well, how do we hold this point?
I feel like people haven't found the optimal...
I don't know if there is an optimal way to really hold, because the high ground is not in a really good place. It's quite far forward. It's not actually on the point or over the point or in a safe area. There's nowhere to kind of hide your healers or anything like that. So it's tough to hold. But anyway, let's see how Kanga can hold.
Nano Blade coming out here, Elfishguy, and Roro finds 3, and Kanga decimates Tainted Minds, who now have a 4-stack, which will be a 5-stack of ultimates as they come on through. Though, in a normal world, in a fight in the middle of the world on a control point, that's ideal. Here, though, you can see the stack of 4 ultimates ready for Kanga. With the trickle, maybe that's enough.
Maybe it's going to be 6 ultis up for Tainted Minds, though. They're going to have to put everything into this push, though. You know, like, you might as well, right? Have one perfect push, all 6 ultimates available. If it works, it works.
One shot, Elfishguy.
If it doesn't matter if you have 2 ultimates or something in the next fight, because you've utilized everything you've got. Let's see what Tainted Minds can do here. They're going to back off, though, off the back of that.
That doesn't help. Godsport goes down. Baby Poro goes down.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as they get one full committed push. I mean, maybe this is going to deny them any possibility of having another set of overtime if Kanga fully caps out again, but they just need to make sure that they can get this cap. And they have the perfect opportunity to do that.
They've got a full house Elfishguy.
Yep.
A full house with 6 cards instead of 5 cards.
Well, Transcendence might be the make or break here for Kanga Esports. So Merit, let's see what he can do here.
Here we go, Transcendence going to come out in a second, but Coalescence comes out first. Transcendence coming out, however, from Merit. And Davey finds Slitsword. J. D-Field going to find Merit as well. 5 alive now, 4 alive here for Tainted Minds. Kanga looking good on defense. Pizza and Roro both finding kills. This should be it, Elfishguy. Kanga will be able to hold.
Yep, just not enough done there by Tainted Minds. Really good work actually from the Kanga supports as well, hiding away in the spawn. There's nothing that Tainted Minds can do about that. And in fact, Davey actually getting the kill onto Slids or J as well as sort of the cherry on the cake there for Kanga. A great hold on the point B. And now they've got 5.5 minutes to get 1 tick, I think it was, that they needed.
Yeah, I think just that 1/3 of a thing, 33%.
Definitely staring down the barrel of a Kanga map 3 victory here.
Because they're on the moon and they can. Okay, here's an idea for Kanga, right?
Right.
If you want some cool branding and your Kanga, what you do is you get like kangaroos designed for specific characters or the specific people on your team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Pizza would have like a kangaroo that looks kind of like Winston or maybe like him. I don't know which way you want to pick it. You know what I mean? And then like that's your thing instead of.
That's a very
they can have it. You can have it. It's my gift from me to you, Kanga.
Well, see, there's a good reason that you don't own a esports organization. Ben.
Yeah, Jordan, because I don't have a lot of money to spend.
Well, if you did have it, I would not recommend spending it on kangaroos that look like Winstons.
I reckon it would be awesome. Doesn't have to, maybe it could be a tank. Maybe it could look like what Pizza looks like. You know, I don't know. For me, I'd have one with glasses, and they'd be a little bit overweight and look a little bit old. Like,
yeah. All right. Well, let's see whether this is going to work out for Tainted Minds. Again, they're going for the same composition. Again, Kanga is going for the quad tank, and it wasn't very fun for Tainted, but they did make that key error, which was Slizzle J getting picked early on in the piece. If they can avoid that here on the first point, maybe it's going to work out nicer for them. And already, it's a slower progression from Kanga, which gives them a lot more time to, or gives Tainted Minds a lot more time to break the shield, do a bit of damage, build up some ulti. Kanga, though, eventually are going to get themselves on that point, but Slizzle J is still alive. And the pick early on in the piece is Quad J getting the D-man. Yeah,
this is not working out so well for Kanga. Maybe going to be forced back off the point here. I'm not sure whether it was that barrier going down, whether it really just came down to Quad J getting picked, Jordan. But, sorry, Ziggy even getting picked there, but...
It was a lot more controlled from Tainted Minds, I will say. They didn't sort of get picked off. They didn't get pushed into awkward positionings. And they didn't get put out of position, essentially, is kind of, I think, what I'm trying to say here. And then Tainted Minds, now they've built up their ultimates, now that they have got that Riptire, Kanga Esports are going to have to find this, or are going to find this even a lot more difficult pushing in on their second attempt. Yes, they've got Coalescence, but what can Coalescence do against a Riptire? Absolutely nothing.
Well, that's it. Do you hold the Riptire till the Coalescence comes out? Like, how do you... what's the play? Well, I guess we don't have to judge it. We just see what goes on here. Oh,
that's a good
very
pull.
Close. This time they're not going to go around. They're going to go underneath. Jordan save themselves a little bit of time, get on this point a little bit quicker. Merit's still alive.
That's a perfect sleep. Now we're going to see the Riptire coming out here. Not a lot can be done about that one for Kanga. Davey goes down early.
Davey does, but it's not a Coalescence, which now gets used. But Quad J finding Locust, and you will see the Supercharger coming out as well. Looking very good here for Tainted Minds on defense. Godsworld managed to accrue a trance to use a little bit later on. So you hear the whole hog coming out in the background.
It was a good fight for Tainted Minds, but I do consider maybe they've actually used a little bit too much there. They used Supercharger, they used Riptire, they used Deadeye, they used Whole Hog. They've used pretty much everything except for Transcendence, and now Kanga, they're coming up on some ultimates. They've got Whole Hog available, almost. They've got Earth Shatter. This should be a fight that Kanga can win.
Well,
if they get a good Earth Shatter.
They're going to want to win, and yeah, well, that Earth Shatter, but that's not going to help. Roro goes down very early on there.
That looked like a trap to me. I think
it's a trap.
Roro got stuck on the steel trap.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So that, again, buys some more time here for Tainted Minds. This is starting to look a little bit concerning for Kanga.
Yeah, and now free damage coming out for Slitzor J as everyone's stuck in the room. If you're a Junkrat and everyone's just, like, they're healing through it, but you can see already about to get another Riptide.
In all this time, what that's allowed Tainted Minds to do is nullify that ult advantages that Kanga did have. We can see Slitzor J's coming up now on the Riptire. And everyone else is sort of coming up on ultimates as well. So this is going to buy even more time. Here comes a Riptire. Slidzor, what can you get done? Well, not a whole lot. A little bit of damage out. But again, it buys a little bit more time there for Kanga to get themselves situated on the site. The fight, though, does come out here from Kanga.
You see Locust finds one with the whole hog. D-Field trades back. Picks up a tank. Coalescence coming through. Sound Barrier out as well. The Deadeye, you will see, captures Ziggy. That's one tank down. Everyone else still alive for now. Godswell traded back. D-Field pushing through. Doing a fair bit of damage. Almost getting Merit, but not able to. Kanga pushing onto the point. It looked like maybe they would get enough here, but Quad J again coming up with a whole hog. Just pushing them off, and the time is really starting to tick down here, Jordan. This is looking less and less doable now for Kanga. Tainted Minds with a great hold here on the first point of Horizon.
And this is probably where you want to see Kanga swap things up. Locust is going onto the Tracer, that's good. A good stagger actually out from Slidzor there as well. But I want to see a swap from Kanga. I want to see them go on to dive here. Roro, please. Yes, he's gone on to Genji. So it was quite obvious that their quad tank was not working. Tainted Minds have sort of figured out how to go against it, which is essentially just don't get picked. And now, Kanga has changed things up, but I think it might be even too late here. Tainted Minds have got a massive ult advantage.
Yeah, and they really don't have that much time. They capture it, they push through. Maybe they have a minute to get onto the next point. The Supercharger comes out again here on defense. Tainted Minds in a great position with Roro going down straight away there. You can see Baby Poro doing actually a pretty good job of keeping the team alive. And they're going to wait for Roro to come through by the looks of stuff, Jordan. That's the play, wanting the 6th member. But Slidzor has an ultimate ready to go.
That's big. That's a good pick.
Not looking so
quite.
good.
I thought that they were going to get the D-Mech there, which would have essentially almost won them the map, but the healing is going to come out onto Ziggy. There will be enough time for Kanga to push onto the site. Riptire, though. Maybe Slidzor can be the hero again. Yes.
Well, Pizza going down. That's a pretty big play. D-Field with the Deadeye ready to go. 25 seconds on the clock, Jordan. Just holding back a little bit. They're going to force Kanga. They're essentially going to have to dive this point right now. And it's all going to be behind the 2 support ultis.
Even if they do cap this out, they're going to only have 30 seconds to get one tick. That's a massive pick out from D-Field. A bink straight onto Merit. Oh, that might actually win the map for Tainted Minds. He had Transcendence as well. Oh, this is so bad for Kanga. They have to make this one work.
Here comes the Deadeye. Finds no one. Roro actually does find Slidzor in the back there. And well, with a whole hole coming out as well as that nano boost, this is a fair bit of damage to force them off the point, Jordan. Trying to stay alive. One tick. There we go. This is okay. Kanga seems to get the point, but it's going to be 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Jordan.
Yeah, but they do have Transcendence to work with on that point. Roro coming up on Dragonblade. Pizza coming up on Primal Rage. Tainted Minds don't have anything to hold this off. This is actually still winnable for Kanga.
Oh, man. It doesn't get much closer than this, and it's literally going to come down to Transcendence into Dragonblade. Transcendence into Dragonblade. This is the play that Kanga wants to use, and so close. Merit comes there to picking up a kill.
A great sleep, in fact. Davey might actually go down early on in the piece here. Perhaps not. Transcendence is out on the point. And Roro dies early.
Oh man. No. That is less than ideal. Kanga losing a Dragonblade very early on. Quad J almost picked up. Locust pushes through, tries to find the kill, is successful. They're on the point. They need to find 1/3 of a tick. But Tainted Minds forces them back. Locust on the point. Locust goes down. Davey trying so hard, but what can you really do? This should be it, Jordan. This should be it.
It's going to be a tie. It's a draw. Oh my goodness, Kanga, they had 5.5 minutes. And Tainted Minds managed to hold on that long.
Wow. Well,
I don't even know what to say about that one, Ben.
Well, all I'm going to say, Jordan, is congratulations to Kanga for picking themselves up a victory here. Picking up 2, draw. They now cannot lose, so they will get the match win, irrespective of what happens.
They will, yes. But also, congratulations to Tainted Minds. They've managed to secure themselves a non-loss, which is better than what they've done so far. So, moving up in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
There was a great pick onto Roro as well. As soon as he pulled out that Dragonblade on point B there, he went down straight away. So that was, you know,
well, that was it, right? That was the play that we expected.
That was the play that needed to win it. It needed to be Transcendence, which came.
Yeah.
Dragonblade yeah.
Did it come after the Transcendence?
Yes. Oh,
right.
Because he had to sort of build it up. He was at 80%.
Right. So close, but so far away.
Yep. A little bit unfortunate there for Kanga. What could have been and what wasn't. So Tainted Minds, they've done well there. It was a really, really good defense. 5.5 minutes. They certainly did a lot better than what they had when they had their first defense. Like they figured out how they needed to work around that quad tank on the first point. That's where they stalled a lot of the time. And really, it was a failure from Kanga to adapt to that. They continued to sort of bash their heads against that brick wall, and inevitably they figured out that it wasn't really going to work out too well for them. But by the time they changed, they had only a minute and a half left, and it was like, it's too little too late. Yeah,
it's not enough time, and it makes life very, very difficult. But at the end of the day, after about 15 minutes of game time, Elfishguy would come out with no one winning the map. So never mind. But it does
watching
count.
The cricket.
Does count. Let's not even talking about that. We're not even talking about that. So it does count for Kanga in the sense that they will be able to pick up their very first victory here in Contenders Australia. So congratulations. Points on the board. That's what you want to see.
Good. It doesn't make the job any easier for them, though. Like, even if they were to 4-0 this series, great. They've 4-0'd and they've got some points on the board, but they are facing Serenity next week, and that's the team that they are chasing. Both teams now, Serenity and Kanga, have defeated Tainted Minds. So they're at 1 win apiece. They're at 3 losses apiece. Whoever wins that comes away with a playoff spot. So really,
up against
it doesn't matter what the result of this matchup is. It matters what Kanga can do next week against Serenity.
Big ask. Do you think it's that big an ask? Serenity has actually played some pretty good games, but feels at the same time maybe they haven't got the results that we thought that they should be able to find. Like, they're still sitting quite low on the scoreboard if you look at,
Well, Group A in itself is a very strong group. You've got Darkside, you've got Blank Blue, you've got Legacy. That's like your top 3 in that group is pretty much assured. And the rest of them are sort of all still fairly close together as well. So, like, with obviously Tainted Minds not having the success that they would have wanted to this season, there's like 5 teams in that group that are sort of jostling for those top 4 positions, and that makes life pretty difficult. Yeah,
it's less than ideal. It's kind of like one group is stacked with like margarita pizza and then like vegetarian pizza and whatever, and the other ones like meat lovers. It's like Hawaiian because pineapple on pizza is great. They've got like a cheesy, like a triple cheese pizza, which are pretty good as well. Like that's tough to beat. And then, you're down the bottom. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, in this analogy, I think both teams are stacked with meat lovers pizzas because I think both groups, both groups I think are pretty good, actually. Both groups, to me at least, look like they've got 5 teams that can challenge. There's that one team, there's Tainted Minds and there's Surge, and, they're obviously not having the wins that they want to this season, but...
They're still good pizzas, right? Like, if that was the only pizza that you could have,
if Margarita was the only pizza, you'd still eat it.
I
would.
Yeah.
I like Margarita.
They're okay, but it's not as good as, like, I would prefer, like, just a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're kind of similar, but they're not, you know what I mean? Like, one's like...
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure if you went out and saw the definition, I think one's just a little bit more tomato-y.
I'd probably prefer Margarita. But anyway, regardless, the point is that both groups have got 5 teams that can really challenge for those top 4 spots. Now, admittedly, they're at different scales. We've got teams challenging for 1st, we've got teams challenging for 3rd, we've got teams challenging for 4th. But the fact of the matter is that there's not like 4 clear-cut teams that are always going to be going through. There's always still some sort of mystery, I suppose, as to who's inevitably going to get those spots into playoffs.
Well, we always love a bit of mystery, Elfishguy, and the only mystery that is remaining here is what map are we going to play for map number 4? Is it going to be Junkertown? No, it's not Junkertown. It's Dorado.
Yep.
That's okay, I guess.
Well,
I don't see that they can pick this up, and by they I mean Tainted Minds. Considering how we saw them play on Nimbani, Kanga looked much more impressive when there was a payload.
Yep.
Now we come over to Escort. It's all payload. I think it's tough.
Look, I still think it's possible here for Tainted Minds. They've shown that they can contest in this series. They've taken it to 2 overtimes so far. It's just the little things that aren't necessarily going their way. Like, imagine if they would have had that first hold on their first defensive side there on Horizon Lunar Colony. What kind of a different matchup we could have seen there once we got into overtime or something like that for them. So it's still doable for Tainted Minds. They just need to shore up the little things.
Well, that's it, because sometimes they have looked really good. On Nimbani, they looked really quite not that good.
That's true. But...
So, I don't know if that's a payload thing, if it's
be
a Nimbani thing. Like, they captured the first point quite quickly, though they defended the first point quite poorly.
Yep. Oh, well, we'll find out, I guess, relatively shortly. What I will say is that we're going to be seeing 2 Widowmakers out here, which, if you cast your mind back to Ilios, did favour Tainted Minds.
Does that mean fish?
I don't know.
Or seafood?
I guess it probably does mean fish or something like that.
I don't know.
Pescado fresco, that's probably fresh fish. $40 a kilo, that sounds like the price of fish.
Right.
Good fish,
yeah.
$40 a kilo. Like, well, that's really good fish, I guess.
What if it's not fish, though? What if it's something else?
But there was fish there.
Look at all these. These should be Easter eggs.
4, 3,
Since it's Easter. Well, it was Easter.
attackers incoming.
Anyway, Tainted Minds on defense, Kanga on attack. Elfishguy and
Slidzor J. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is!
Lada.
It's Roro, though, this time.
Resurrection coming out. Will he get him again?
Nope.
No. Oh, well.
But that could be dangerous for Tainted Minds, because where they got a lot of their advantages on that first point of Ilios was when Slidzor J was winning the duel against Roro. And this time, Roro starts off well. So, concerns there, maybe, for Tainted Minds. But this is now where that sort of choke point is for Tainted.
This is the tough bit. This is the difficult spot, Jordan, to be perfectly honest. We'll see whether Roro can find a pick. Almost tries again. 3rd time. Is that the charm? No. Going to get forced back there. You really need to be careful up against a boosted opposing Widow. But as I said, that Baby Poro actually pushes out, decides...
2 from 2.
Yeah, well, needs to resurrect God's World, which means that Slidzor J is free to be picked up there. No support.
Well, let's see if Slidzor J sticks on that Widow. Looks like he is going to at this point. Might not be able to utilize it, though, in the market area, as Kanga are sweeping the floor with Tainted Minds at this point. D-Field is still jumping around there and contesting the payload, but inevitably will be going down.
Man, how often do you see someone get picked up by that Widowmaker mine? Like, it's almost never.
Yeah.
Except this time. And a very quick push, almost uninhibited here.
2-1. Slidzor J gets one back.
Well, yeah. I don't know how much time that buys them. Not that much, but it does buy Slidzor J the opportunity to perhaps have a couple of free shots here onto Kanga. Wants to find the support. Teams have to play so differently when there's a Widow there.
Yeah, particularly the supports. Especially when Infrasight is on, because they are going to be prime suspects. And Roro just demolishes Slidzor J, even though Infrasight is on. Well, both of them had, I guess, Infrasight at that point. But that's key. Kanga Esports, again, just getting so much freedom because Roro is winning these aim duels. Sniper versus sniper. And it gives everyone else a lot more room to maneuver.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Well, Full Metal jumps right on top of Roro then. Picks him up. Locust actually will take one back in return. You can see both Merit and Pizza now ready to go. I guess that combines very well up with Tainted Minds.
Moving, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how even these trades are for Tainted Minds. If they can't stop Kanga from continuing this payload push, which so far they really haven't been able to do, they might as well not be winning these fights.
Well, I guess it's one of those things where the fights, if they're even, if they continue to be even, it will get to that middle ground where they kind of stall out there. And the Trance now coming out here for Kanga, trying to push through, trying to make the most of it. If they can push through this aspect of the point, they can get all that way nice and close to point B, and that's going to help. Baby Poro going down very quickly there to Roro. Well, nice work.
That was a shot, Ben. I will say that much. And that's going to make life very, very easy for Kanga as well. They have lost their own healer, but really, it's a 1-for-1 and starting to be a little bit more favorable for Kanga. Locust getting another one. The res does come out as well onto Merit. And there's just too many players of Kanga here. It's just the tanks left for Tainted Minds. They can't get anything done. D-Field gets a couple, but payload continues moving.
Yeah, it's really...
heaps of time on the board here for Kanga. They've barely stopped.
Consolation kills Elfishguy, and you can see that self-destruct now coming out just to try and hold them off for as long as they can. Maybe use perhaps just that little bit early.
Oh, Roro!
So many kills! There's 3 headshots, Jordan. 3 headshots coming out of Roro.
Are they still going to be able to get this point, though? That's the real question for me, because it's taken them a while. Tainted Minds is definitely making this stagger work. Roro's under no pressure right now. Oh, that could have been a critical kill for him. Surprised Roro actually survives there, but survive he does, and keeps putting out the damage, now being jumped on by Full Metal, and Tainted Minds, they might actually hold this one.
I was going to say, finally now, the tank's able to do something about this, but really just pushes Roro back for a small amount of time. That was a little bit
that killing
disappointing,
shot.
man. They used the self-destruct on the point. They used the pulse bomb round the corner. I don't think either of them found kills.
Shoot the feet!
And it could have been used entirely differently.
Well, this has prolonged quite
a very
while.
long fight that surely
Still
goes
going.
the way of Kanga in a couple of seconds from here.
It doesn't matter if it inevitably goes the way of Kanga. Well, I guess it does, but
Kinda
Tainted
does.
Minds have kind of accomplished what they wanted to here by buying themselves another minute even. A minute and a half we're almost getting to. It was about 3 minutes when Kanga was at this point initially. Now we're down to a minute and a half. Finally, can they cap it?
Well, that self-destruct makes a pretty big difference.
There we go.
Finds two
But
pretty cheap kills.
Tainted Minds wasted a minute and a half of Kanga's time there just by trickling onto that point. They didn't really have to do anything. And it bought time for Slidzor to get his Dragon Blade up. If Kanga would have pushed straight in there, Slidzor swaps off the Widowmaker straight away. He's got no Dragon Blade, but now by the time Kanga's actually pushing into, you know, the final stage, there's a Dragon Blade available for Tainted Minds.
Roro trying to find just 1 or 2 picks here to make their life all that easier. As I say that, Quad J has gone down. So that tank advantage now, at least for the moment. But that payload is so slow, and the Dragon Blade comes out, forces the Transcendence. Slidzor pushes through, but no kills. Drops back. Roro does a fair bit of damage onto Baby Poro as well. And looking not that bad here for Kanga Jordan.
Just a good counter ultimate out from Merit. The Transcendence denying any usage of the Dragon Blade. As of yet, still no kill though for either team. And that's what Kanga desperately needs. If there's no kill, Tainted Minds is happy with that because it's stalling the payload out. And Kanga just can't find anything right now. Yes, okay, 1 for 1. D-Field goes down, but Hiza also gets dropped as well, and the race is across for Tainted Minds. Roro's not getting enough done now on this Widowmaker. I think it's time to swap on this stage, but he's up to 87% of
Yeah,
Infrasight.
but it's Infrasight. Like,
It's good, though.
Yeah. But it's
kind of hard to use Infrasight wrong, but yeah, look, he swapped off. That's a good decision in my mind, even though he sacrifices 90% of an ultimate. He is going to have enough time to get the Dragon Blade up here, a minute and a half. Well,
that's it.
Assuming things go, you know, not poorly for him. If he gets picked every fight, then sure.
Pretty good so far on the Genji. So let's be real.
Kanga just needs to sort of take a couple of slower fights here, build up the ultimates. Merit might be able to get a Transcendence up. Roro probably can get a Dragon Blade up in time for a final push. But they've only got a minute to get this final cap.
Locust looking for a good pulse bomb potentially here on attack. Self-destruct comes out over the top, will catch no one. So that's okay here for Kanga. That's what they want to see. Tainted Minds. D-Field throws out a pulse bomb, catches Merit as well. And Baby Poro brings Godsworld back. So that's not so bad at all now for Tainted. Kanga losing 2 players here. And potential for them to get staggered now as well.
Kanga needs to make a decision now. Do they continue to fight or do they back off?
It
looks like they've got 2 pretty big picks though, so they decide they're going to continue the fight.
Pizza bringing out that primal rage. But now they've still got a fair bit of time to get around onto the point.
But they're getting ultimates up now. They're getting Transcendence. They've got Pulse Bomb up again. We've got Dragon Blade at 75%. Even Davey is within grasping distance maybe of getting his ulti in this fight if he doesn't go down early on in the piece. That's 2 great picks early on in the piece for Kanga Esports. Roro trying to do some damage with the Dragon Blade so far. Hasn't actually got any kills, but he's certainly gotten some damage. And Kanga, they're continuing this push forward. They do get overtime, so that's, I guess, not ideal for them, but they will cap this one out finally.
Yeah, they should be able to get the point. I think we saw Dragon Blades across both sides. Now Ziggy does have that self-destruct ready to go as well. You'll see self-destruct coming out right now into the point. Should force them off. Finds Davey. There we go. This is the one that the attackers are using. Quad J still in the mech though. Managing to stay on the point. Full Metal's going to jump here. Off the point. Just staying on, I think. And well, you see that payload not actually moving anywhere. 3 players left alive for Tainted Minds. Baby Poro almost going down. Slidzor J almost going down. Kanga with more players on the point, and there you see Pizza coming out. You'd like to see both those tanks in for Kanga, which makes life just that little bit easier. The trickle continues, Jordan, but surely Kanga gets it.
Surely they do. You have to think, but I don't know about it. At this point, the trickle is proving to be very strong. There's a Primal Rage out from Full Metal as well to buy some more time. Self-destruct will push him off, and no! They don't quite cap Slidzor. They just gets there in time. Baby Poro is back. Does go down straight away. Finally, Kanga get the job done. And that was a long overtime, but they do get all 3 points. Tainted Minds, a great stall from them though on the second cap and on the third. Just putting a lot of pressure onto Kanga. I still think it's doable here for Tainted.
Well, that's it. Like, the first all point A obviously was very, very quick for Kanga. And they got halfway through, really 2/3 of the way through point B, looking very, very good as well. And then 90 seconds essentially of hold there at that last point. Considering, as I said before, they had a self-destruct that they used on the payload just a little bit early. They had a pulse bomb around the corner that didn't manage to pick anyone up. So, in the end of the day, it feels like that maybe cost them. I don't know.
A lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But it could have been better.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't.
Wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
Do you even English, mate?
No.
Yeah,
English is my second language, actually. I speak German.
Mate, I think German's your second language.
Nine.
Yeah, okay.
Tainted Minds, though, it's a good defense. You know, they force it through to overtime. Yeah, despite Kanga getting all 3 points, there's still a possibility here for both of these two teams to win this map. It's very achievable for Tainted Minds to get a better time than what Kanga was able to do there. But all they have to do is finish the map. And then, you know, that's going to be a better result than what they otherwise might have been able to get.
All they have to do is finish the map.
All they have to do. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? But
yeah,
maybe it's not.
I think it's actually pretty tough.
I think it is as well. But Slidzor on the attack here with the Widowmaker. We'll see if he can do the same to Roro as what was being done to him on the defensive Widowmaker. I would probably argue it might be a little bit easier to play Widow on attack here in the duels because you kind of have the choice of the engagements. You almost know where the defensive Widow is going to be sitting.
Well, that's it. They have to hold up on that far
arch thing.
Yeah, correct. So, and you can play the corner.
Exactly. You can play the corner, choose when to engage, and it's kind of a reaction from the defensive Widow as opposed to them choosing.
Man. Slidzor here is boosted, but not able to find a pick.
Yep. He's wasting a lot of time with this Tracer. Not going to be an easy target.
And in the meantime, yeah, Roro found a frag.
But he knows where his opposing Widow is. Roro is holding the corner well, though. Decides not to take the duel.
As we said, this is the whole point now for Roro on defense. As Widow doing a little bit of damage. But so far, there we go. That's the pick.
Yeah, that's a pixel snipe and a half, isn't it? Really, you could barely even see Slidzor J.
I could see him.
And
that's no good, though.
Roro does come out the better of it. A res out from Baby Poro, though. We'll keep Tainted Minds in this fight for now. Somebody needs to do something about Roro. He's not under any pressure right now, which is perfect if you're a Widow. Locust gets Slidzor J. Infrasight is going to come up here for Kanga very shortly.
And D-Field's actually found 2 very crucial kills here as well on the Tracer. And you can see now Kanga's starting to fall down. Jordan Tainted managing to push through, getting the advantage, looking actually not so bad to grab point A.
Yeah,
they're going to trickle over the top. We can see the Winston looking around the corner. There we go, jumping onto the point. You can hear the Valkyrie coming out as well. Pizza taking a ton of damage before finally going down. Quad J getting that kill. Kanga drops back off the point. Is anyone going to get on? There we go. Diva's on the point now. Davey looking pretty low. And the self-destruct now coming out from that Diva mech. That's 2 self-destructs. Are either of them going to find a kill? The answer is yes. Davey goes down. Baby Poro gets a res. Tainted looking okay here on attack. Pizza back into the fight. But the last play now for Kanga goes down. They capture the point. 4:30 on the clock. That's pretty good.
Kanga forcing quite a few ultis out of Tainted Minds there, though. So that could be an advantage now coming into this second stage, the Streets phase, I suppose. Although I was having a discussion with AVRL, I think it was last week, and he said he doesn't like calling this the Streets phase because it all is the Streets phase, really.
Except the last bit.
But I would argue the first phase is market.
Yes.
Second phase is
where you buy the fish.
Where there's streets.
Yeah.
And the third phase is indoors. I haven't decided a name for it.
Isn't it like a power? Isn't it the points? A power bank or something? A power.
I'm not sure.
I'm not very good with power today, sorry. I apologize in advance. Unlike Roro, who's been going real strong right now. And well, so is the rest of the Kanga teams. They pick up a ton of kills.
Yep.
And sneaky Roro comes around from behind trying to pick someone up, but there's no one there. They're all dead.
Well, this is not a very fun spot for the payload to be stalled at because, one, you have to get rid of the players on the high ground and they're just going to drop onto the low ground, contest you there. You also have to be aware of that position that Roro was in earlier on where he can sort of just come around the back and be a bit of a pain in the butt.
Well, yeah, they managed to push all the way through here as well, Jordan. And Full Metal forced off the point. Baby Poro has been making huge use of the res so far. Having to time and time again pick these guys off, just like Roro. is picking heroes off across the field. And a great hold again coming out from Kanga.
If he would have hit that shot, it would have been something of miracles. He's doing some dirty things right now, though, Ben.
Dirty, but oh so clean.
Yeah, that's right.
Isn't that what Mitch says? I don't know, something like that. I've only heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah. The push is nothing but dirty. Something like that. I don't remember.
We should work out what it is and then just overuse it.
Yeah.
You'll love that. Roro with the infra side, and as I say, that does get used. And gives them a pretty good idea of precisely where those support players are. Up and to the point right now. Roro misses the hook to try and get out of there, but Slitzel J up on fighting high ground now, trying to use the best of this Dragon Blade. The answer is, no. Well, doesn't actually work at all, unfortunately. Yep. And Kanga again on defense again. Forces Tainted back. Merit just a little bit too far away there. The reset wasn't able to come out onto Roro, so Slitzel J just could not get anything done with that Dragon Blade, and now he's going to swap back onto the Widowmaker. Not so sure about that because Roro has been looking pretty on point, and those duels definitely have been going the way of Roro. So Slitzel J, he's going to have to try and, I think, avoid taking those 1v1 duels, just try and focus on picking off some other guys, but realistically, it's not going to be easy. Roro's going to go hunting him down, really. When you're winning duels like that, you want to take those 1v1 duels. You want to get your opposing sniper off the field. And everything Tainted Minds tries to do is not working, as evidenced right there. Yeah, that didn't work. Nope. That's definitely not what you want when you're trying to take down a Winston, that is for sure. Roro on defense, can see the rest of the team from Tainted trying to get round behind, forces them back. Infra sight available again. It's almost available every fight these days, Jordan. Trying to shoot through the barrier, that's not going to work. This time will make it a little bit easier now. You'll see the Primal Rage going to come out as well. Quad J finds one. Roro, though, just takes down Baby Poro there. Davy's taken out as well. Roro wants to find another kill. Drops back, but this should be a final attempt, and well, he does get picked up eventually. Yeah, but I'm not sure that this is going to still work out for Tainted Minds. While they got, I suppose, the main fight won, there's still more time being bought here by Kanga. 50 seconds left. Kanga's definitely going to have enough time to recontest before this caps into point B. Defense doing a bit of work, Jordan. Yeah, well, not enough. Yeah, that's the problem. That is true. That is true. Definitely not enough, but this could be it. This could be the enough, Jordan. This could be the enough. Or not. No, never mind. And then meanwhile, Merit gets rid of Slitzel J as well, so I'm not sure how he's managed to do that and avoid the Pulse Bomb, but he's done it. And God's World finds two kills. If the DPS can't do it, we'll leave it to the support players, Jordan. At the same time, does use that Transcendent, trying to keep the hopes and dreams alive here for Tainted Minds, but finally he goes down. Kanga looking pretty good on defense right now. That's a really bad time for DMAC as well, as Tainted Minds are going to have to try and contest this without a Diva. Quad J eventually does go down. Locust is just going ham right now on the Tracer, cleaning up the trash. He's the janitor at the moment, and Kanga, they're going to secure themselves map number 4 as Tainted Minds cannot continue the push. So 3-0 the entire series, and Kanga Esports, well, it's a good day at the office for them. Not so for Tainted Minds. Yeah, it was a pretty good day here for Kanga. For Tainted Minds, it was good. There was a map that they didn't lose. They looked okay there on Ilios. Oh, look at this from Locust, though. This is what I was talking about, where he was just cleaning everyone up. Everyone getting down low, and eventually he was there, which is exactly what you need to be doing on Tracer. You just need to be zipping around and finishing off those low HP targets. They looked okay on Horizon. They did. So the maps without the payloads were okay. I will say they did look okay on one part of Horizon. The thing was, like, they looked good only in overtime. In regulation time, Kanga capped out so quickly, and they sort of threw away their own defense by getting off the point. So there's always that sort of what if for me. If Kanga would have held correctly, if they wouldn't have let that sort of slip through their fingers. That's true. There was that one time where they C9'd. So yeah. A little bit. And a lot, I suppose. But that sort of gave a second chance to Tainted Minds. But what if they weren't given that second chance? It could well have been a 4-0. We'd be saying the same old thing about Tainted Minds.
and we'd be like, yeah, Kanga's done really well today. I mean, to be fair, Kanga, I think, has done pretty well, gotten to 3-0, but it wasn't without its problems.
If I look to my monitor of great stats here we have in front of us, Jordan, apparently Locust got 62 elims in that map, so...
That's a lot.
That is a lot of elims. Thanks,
no, and it didn't even go to overtime
stuff.
or anything like that. So
No.
I wonder what his kill participation was there.
High.
Yeah.
The answer is high. High kill participation. 78%, according to... No, I made that up. I don't know.
I was going to say, if it's 78%, that's very impressive.
It was pretty good. Almost as impressive as going 3-0. So they lose no maps. They pick up 3. Kanga gets their first match victory here at Overwatch Contenders Australia. So congratulations to them. On the other hand, first for Tainted Minds with a don't lose a map. I know that's not being... We're not trying to be mean. Like, legit, like that is... It's nice to be able to say...
Yeah, we've gotten something.
We managed to pick something up. So, and that is how you start. And the nature of having 2 groups of 8, 16 teams in a region that hasn't necessarily had this kind of structured format before, that some teams will be better than others. So it's nice for them to be able to do that, something that they can tick off. Next week, push for a little bit more.
Absolutely. But that means Tainted Minds can no longer make it to playoffs, so we will unfortunately have to say goodbye to them after their match next week. Next match up, though, for today is Surge and Sydney Drop Bears. Now, both of those 2 teams, I would imagine, are locked into position where they are. Sydney Drop Bears in second. They can't really get into first unless Masterminds, for some reason, ends up dropping some weird series here or there. And Surge, well, this is their last match, actually, of the season, and they've lost all other 4, so they can't really go any higher.
Yeah, it hasn't been so great for them so far, but we'll talk more about that matchup after the break. For now, a couple of minutes, we'll go away, we'll come back, we'll regroup, and when we do, we'll bring you all of the action for our second matchup of the day. See you soon.